EdgeWater 368cc. With a length of 36 feet 8 inches, a beam of 11 feet 4 inches, and max horsepower of 900.
Well, you know, a lot of people now want one boat that does everything.
You're right. We talk about boats that are mission specific all the time. The EdgeWater 368 is not mission specific. You can do an awful lot of things. The whole boat being customizable. You can make it into a sport fisherman. You can make it into a center console. There's dozens of different ways to do it. Let's step on the boat and I'm going to show you some of the features I really like. Let me tell you something. This boat isn't the evolution of a center console. This is the guy with the sport fisherman finding a better way to do it. It's faster, it's less maintenance, it doesn't smell like diesel. It has all the big sport fish feel without the hassles.
Well, it really does. And one thing about a lot of the sport fish that are out there, they really lean heavy toward fishing. Because a lot of the sport fishing, they're really not comfortable unless you go in the cabin. Once you come out into the cockpit, it's all business. This boat, if the family wants to sit out in the sun, look at all the seating up here in the front. This is a boat that can fish just as hard as any sport fisherman out there, but the family's going to be more comfortable on this boat because they don't have to stay cooped up inside the cabin. Well, if you look up here in the bow, we've got U-shaped seating that we see a lot. I love the table. We've seen this on other boats too, but the table has three actual purposes. It's flat, so it's got that deck you like where you can walk all the way to the front.
Love an even deck.
You can push a button, it'll come up, and now we've got a raised casting platform, because if you remove these cushions, you could throw a cast net off the front of this boat, or let's say you want to pull up and cast a jig to a cobia.
Right.
You can do it on this raised casting platform. But then if you want to pull up and have a picnic lunch with the family, the table comes all the way up, and now you've got a great place for everybody to sit. All right, now that we've checked out the front of the boat, I'm gonna go look at this helm. But that flat screen, it's really, really impressive, and it looks like a great place to drive the boat from. All right, you know, one of my complaints about the saltwater fishing boats is they're just not comfortable. In this boat, they got it right. You have this big wraparound windshield. There's no post in my way. I can see everything, whether I'm standing or whether I'm sitting down. It's almost the feel of a pilot house, but it's still the accessibility of a center console, where if I need to run and get to a rod real quick or whatever, you know, you're not all hemmed in like you would be in a pilot house, but yet you've got the protection of one. This is awesome. You've got your flat dash, the CZone system. I like the quick access switches, so that way if you need to get to a live well or your nav lights or something like that, it's just a one button that we're all used to. But everything is controlled on this flat screen dash.
What makes the cabin of a sport fishing boat so appealing to people? What makes them want to make that kind of investment and keep the boat in the water and pay all the maintenance and upkeep? In the cabin, you can take a shower, you can watch TV, you can cook dinner, you can keep cold drinks cold. I mean, it's what makes a boat self-sufficient. In this cabin, we've got every bit of that, and it feels like you're sitting in the cabin of an executive jet.
You know what I see when I see this cabin? I see a boat that you could take the family, load everything, go to the islands, and stay on the boat. If you take a center console to the islands, that's great.
But you better have a condo.
You're going to stay in a hotel or a condo. This is a boat you can take to the island and stay on your boat. All right, now that we've checked out the cabin, let's look at the cockpit, and we're going to see why these boats really lean more toward the sport fish than a center console.
Well, for starters, look how big it is.
You know what? A lot of big sport fish don't have a cockpit this big.
Well, that's exactly right. And they still maximize space to the extreme. First off, when do you see mezzanine seating in a center console boat?
Well, you see little seats here and here. I mean, this has a flip-out seat here in the back that we see in so many, but this is actually just as comfortable as the bow seating. So here again, it's not just for the fishermen. They brought the family in so that this is a one boat, can do it all type of vessel.
It can do an awful lot, that's for sure. Let me show you something I love about being back here, okay? How about this? Standing here, you can see all your electronics on this screen, okay? Including the remote for your autopilot. You and your buddy could literally stay back here on a hot dolphin bite, never touch the wheel, never have to go forward.
A lot of manufacturers do their hull and then they handle everything else and put it together. This whole boat, the hull, the deck, even this superstructure right here, it's all vacuum infused. It's all bonded together. Very, very strong. There's no fasteners to come loose and go rattle around on the floor. It's as close to one monolithic piece as you can get.